a hard canvas of the area through the neighborhood looking for home surveillance system cameras or doorbell cameras. And based on the crime camera video that we have at the sheriff's office and the combination of home surveillance system and doorbell cameras, investigators were able to piece what took place. The investigation basically revealed and identified that the driver, Daniel D. Medina Robeles, Hispanic male, age 18, and the front seat passenger, Gerard Paul Garrett, black male, age 17, basically shot each other to death while both were seated in this vehicle. Investigators found evidence or other supporting evidence that showed and told the story. Multiple spent casings were found in the vehicle. Cash was found inside of the vehicles. 2 handguns were found inside of the vehicle, and illegal narcotics were found inside the vehicle. What else was inside of the vehicle were 2 cell phones, and our team did a forensic investigation that showed both deceased individuals communicated with each other prior to shooting each other in that vehicle. So it was a time-consuming, very unusual set of events, the circumstances, but we were able to. It took a while, but we did piece it together, and basically, like I said earlier, both of these guys shot each other in a vehicle to death over a drug transaction, and that's where it stands. I'll answer any questions you might have at this time.
Can you reveal what happened, what you found in those cell phones, in particular, what was communicated?
Conversation regarding a narcotics transaction. Okay. They knew each other, they communicated with each other.
What kind of drugs?
Right now, I'm gonna let the lab identify them, because it's multicolored, some type of drug. It appeared to be marijuana, but it could have been some other things as well. But we're gonna send that off and get confirmation 100% before I comment on that.
And
Was there anything else
about
that showed
I'm
that
sorry.
they possibly knew each other before, or was this their first transaction, or did they have priors where they met up before and then this one just turned out to be like this?
We are still trying to find out if they had a friendship or they just some kind of way got together for this drug transaction. I don't have that information at this time, but it's still being investigated.
When it comes to the video,
Go ahead.
will you be releasing any surveillance video that you all were able to, because I know you talked about the video that you all have.
I'll see what we can do,
Okay.
because actually there's no arrest that's going to be made. There's nothing to submit to the district attorney's office. I'll get with my investigators to find out if there's any video we can release. Sure.
Where is each person from?
They're both residents of St. John Parish. Now, I can't stand here and tell you they were born and raised here, but they both have addresses in St. John Parish. Once we identified them, we did death notifications to their families, and we're still doing some of that. I think we pretty much wrapped up on that today.
Is it too early to say who shot who first right now? Because you said it was riddled with bullets, one was driving, possibly the passenger started it, and then he was trying to defend himself or something like that?
We may never know that, but we can say that the driver of the vehicle picked up the passenger, and within seconds, video shows that the car began driving very erratically, and it leads us to believe that was a struggle of the driving of the steering wheel of that vehicle. But if you look at from where we have video to where the final resting point, it's not a long distance, and they jumped the curbs. When they jumped the curb, they struck a parked truck in the yard, and then they hit this house. So it's not, I don't have the distance in front of me, but as soon as the driver got in there, all hell broke loose.
And I was gonna ask, you determined that the car was in motion while they were shooting, so they weren't parked, they weren't stopped at a stop sign, they were already in motion as they began shooting.
The driver got in, car started having, something's going on, obviously, and then shots were fired, and they crashed into the house.
Where did the pick up gear? Is this in 1900 block of King?
Right.
Yorktown or what?
Actually, he was picked up on Newport, which is right there, not far at all. They got a little store right there. He was in that vicinity across from the church.
And he was at
Can
the
you say
store?
where the shooting
I
started?
can't, he was on the sidewalk.
He was on the
And,
sidewalk,
it's
close to the store.
on the sidewalk in that area around the store.
Okay.
But the erratic movement of that vehicle began in the 2000 block of Yorktown?
It began at the intersection of Newport and Yorktown. And that's where they jumped the curve and continued across Yorktown and crashed into the home.
That's Fairway, that's right
It
there, right?
passed right in front of Fairway, and it went through the yards, dodged a magnolia tree and a fire hydrant, and hit this truck, and then hit the house.
So it started at Newton and Yorktown, continued past Fairway, jumped the curb somewhere right there.
That's about the best. If we decide to release the video, I'll let y'all see it or whatever we can do.
Did they live in the Cambridge subdivision or somewhere else?
Neither one of them lived in the Cambridge subdivision.
Who was driving? Daniel, I believe?
Yeah, the gentleman I described, Daniel De Medina Robeles, he's the driver.
Do you have a message for people in St. John and in that particular subdivision as far as public safety and if people should feel concerned moving forward?
Cambridge is a good community. The people over there support me, they support the sheriff's office, they support law enforcement. They've had cases in the past. They call 911. They helped us last night piece this case together. You got a few people back there that probably causes some problems from time to time. But this case, neither one of these guys live in this neighborhood. They hanging out in this area dealing with drugs. Basically, if you out here doing things you're not supposed to be doing, you're gonna have a problem. If you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, like you should be doing, you're not gonna have a problem. But when you're living that lifestyle, these are the kind of things that happen. A 17-year-old and an 18-year-old in broad daylight having a shootout inside of a vehicle. You got people out there that were washing their cars. You had people out there that were just standing out there. They didn't really even hear the shots. You don't see the reaction of a person hearing a gunshot and fleeing. They knew something happened, but they couldn't. That's how fast it happened, just like that. Yes, Michelle.
Did you all encounter either one of these kids before, previous arrests or cases or investigations?
They have some minor arrests. They haven't really have an adult yet to have a lengthy criminal adult history. They're both 17 and 18 years old. Nothing substantial. I won't get into their juvenile files, but nothing, no violent criminal history.
Nothing that you would think leads to something like this.
There's nothing that shows that propensity for violence existed. That what happened yesterday. They don't have histories of that. No.
And can you remind me, which one was the dealer, which one was the buyer?
The picture, Daniel is the driver. The one that got in as a front seat passenger is Gerard Garrett.
Do you know which one was like, who was selling, who was buying? You said this was a drug transaction.
I'm gonna get that for you because only two people were in that vehicle. And we got some questions that we may never get answers to. All I can tell you is it's tragedy, both young people shooting each other in a vehicle. And again, we're out here not knowing what's going on. We're about to put the whole neighborhood community on lockdown. But again, I have to commend the people who live in that area. They came forward, they helped us with cameras and video, food, water.
A few months ago, you had the triple homicide, which was a gun deal going wrong, right? Weren't they around the same age and everything like that, and roughly about a 5-minute distance from there?
Well, let me clear it up. One person was killed in that, others were shot, treated, and released. That case has been investigated and turned over. It's at the end of Cambridge on English Colony, at the very end of, almost to the interstate. And we, what's your question exactly?
Pretty much has there been any other cases of activity as in guns or drugs in that area?
Not recently, no. And again, if you look at the history of the things we have had, the citizens call us. They don't want this in the neighborhood. They don't choose to live like this. They work with us. They tell us what I need to know. Call me directly, call my officers, call 911. and they've been very supportive. We've been solving cases. If you look at our cases, our history, we're making arrests. Our conviction rate is in a 90 percentile. But just arresting is not solving the problem. Our young people, again, go back and look at my previous news conferences. It's young people with guns. And this time it's young people with guns with narcotics.
Was the car they were in stolen?
No, sir.
We heard it had a Mississippi license plate.
It did, but it's not stolen. Well, look, if y'all don't have any other questions, I'm gonna try to see what I can do about any video that we might be able to release. I'll get with my investigators in a few minutes, and I'll let y'all know. If y'all have any questions or anything, my public information officer is standing right there, Latisse Bacon Blood. She will guide you, help you, and I'll make a decision on if we can release any video.
And if you do, you'll send it to all of the stations, right? Or-
Yeah, I'm not gonna send it to just you.
It's okay though.
I'll find out what they say about it, all right?
Could you send the mugs soon though?
Yeah, she's working on that for you already. That's my go-to person right there.